Hello, street leaders. It's me again. This is actually a passage 4 overview. It's how to take a science passage, how to read a science passage on the ACT. I actually recommend doing this fourth passage, the hard science, the natural science passage. I recommend doing it first or second, simply because I don't like to bounce around passages and maybe bubble in the wrong one on the answer sheet because you're tired. And you rarely make that mistake, but if you make it, you're just like destroying your test. So I like to do the fourth one first and then just roll through. The science passage, the first thing to understand about the natural science passage is it's one of the easiest, it's the second easiest. There's not very many inference questions because there's maybe one or two, usually only one, because there's not much you can read between the lines about science. You know, it's not a story where there's characters with emotions and mixed hidden agendas and plots. The important thing to understand about natural science is it's very modern and very humanistic. By that I mean there's a narrative, there's a meta-narrative, there's a bigger story. The big story, the unstated assumption and story behind anything you read in a science passage is what's there to help you make sense of it. And it's always progress, okay? It's either humanity's progress, the genius and brilliance of the scientist in cleverly figuring out why something in the natural world works the way it is. And usually the scientist it's not just that he's a genius. It's a hero story. The science, this brilliant new paradigm shifting, this new groundbreaking scientific mind, his brilliant ideas are just always so far ahead of his time that nobody believes in his hypothesis and everybody doubts his discovery or his hypothesis at first. But because of his tenacity and commitment to the truth and just his spirit, his human spirit of determination, he keeps persevering, and eventually when he becomes older, the scientific community finally recognizes that he is correct. Sometimes maybe after he dies or when he's a grand old man. That's one very common scientific passage. The other narrative, this is the progress and the improvement and the increase of the human achievement. If that's not the narrative of the science passage, it's the other one. It's the progress of life and nature. Life finds a way. Nature finds a way. Jurassic Park, you know. Nature finds a way. Nature is always adapting to overcome the obstacles put in its way. So it's either nature overcoming seeming impediments to overcome the obstacles put in its way, all the pollution or some devastating natural catastrophe, or, you know, why did this subspecies of animal isolated in this one really harsh place of harsh conditions somehow adapt and develop unique instincts and unique survival mechanisms? It's always life finds a way. So life finds a way, or the human scientist always finds a way. And that's the meta-narrative with which you need to be reading the science passage, because there's always going to be this story. If you have that in the back of your head when you read a science passage, you can always just, the questions become crystal clear. You know the author's main idea. You know where the passage is going, and everything's so easy. The science passage, to sum up, is either about a person or it's about a discovery, and how this discovery changes current knowledge, and how it's a paradigm. It's always about a paradigm shift. It's always about a game-changing new insight, you know, that a human's making about a body of knowledge, or it's about the human being struggling in the face of adversity. No one's listening to his scientific genius, or it's about life and some animal species itself, nature finding a way. Hope that made sense. To wrap up, you want to do this second or first because it's easy, and this is an easy 8 or 9, 10 points you can get for your test, so please prioritize it. If you're a pro, this passage should take about 9 minutes if you're super smart and super fast reader and you've done 1 million tests, basically. Okay, I never get it done I get it done in about 8:45, 8:30, 8:15 on a good day. A normal reader should take about 10 minutes on this passage. If you take 10 minutes on this passage, don't feel bad, okay? Because it's a great passage to get 10 out of 10 on. It's where you want to invest your time and make sure you get a handle on things. Thank you for watching, and good luck.